little, but in the long run, you're gonna thank me later. You're gonna
Jason,
thank.
That's good.
you
That's
pointed
crazy.
me over there to them, and I, built a PC with some of your help, and it was like 3 days later, this box sitting at my doorstep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I could nothing but good things to say about them over there.
And that's us being in Hawaii.
Yeah, super fast shipping, and I was like, this thing's gonna come in a million
Yeah.
pieces.
It came literally over the weekend.
Yeah,
We hit
That's
by
crazy.
Monday morning. PC's built. What do? You plug it in. Hello and welcome to the Chicane Podcast, where we discuss all things in the sim racing world. I'm your host, Jason Rivera, and I'm joined here by Mr. Eric Kelly and Jeff Smart. Welcome back, Jeff. How's everybody doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
I missed you guys. I missed a banger of an episode, so apologize to you gentlemen. And I am ready to get back on the saddle or get back in the car here and
All good, man.
jump into it.
We had a good chat with Daniel.
Dude, his stuff's awesome.
So
Like,
Yeah.
kills it.
I mean, I'm telling
Yeah,
you,
man.
the Chicane Podcast friends list is growing, which is good. I mean, I want everybody to stay tuned because, we might do something for the summertime or we might do something for the end of the year. And I just want a room packed full of sim racers and creators and different views on things. And yeah, I mean, it was fun. And Jeff, things come up. It's all good. We pulled through. As you can
Yeah, man.
see, I'm not feeling too well, and today was a long day. And then I got into the race, committed to the iRacing League and the Porsche, and I'm completely, I'm not feeling too good, but I'm going to do my part and do my best here on the show.
Tanks
And
on empty, on fumes.
basically,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, we appreciate the
announcements.
dedication, man.
I appreciate you guys for being here and supporting me. So
Yeah, we got you.
if I look a little weird, it's going around. So take care of yourselves out there. I
Yeah,
know.
for
I know.
real.
Eric came down on that last week. He missed his race.
Yeah.
And
Yep, I'm fresh off of it. I know how you feel, man.
yeah. So even if we're across the water, say breathing the same air. I guess some cleaner
Apparently
than
so.
others. Yeah. But how was your week? How was your week, both of you, Eric and Jeff? What's going on?
I'll go quickly. My week was great. You know, did get to do a race earlier this week, and it was a brutal race. Not out of competition, but just the learning curve for myself. Um, Still got a lot to learn as far as iRacing and some of the rules and kind of just what to do when things aren't going right. But I'm
Ah,
still excited to learn. And I appreciate the feedback. And I was telling Vlad, in the racing league, and I think his name is Thomas, one of the stewards for the league. Um, I would, if this was just me racing by myself, I would just leave that situation not knowing what to do next time, not knowing the best path forward, and just getting that feedback. If something were to happen, I kind of know what the best the best action to take is. Like if your wheel disconnects mid race, or you're in a race and you don't feel comfortable with the track, or you have some damage, or just all those racecraft kind of things that just help you not ruin somebody else's race, that you don't really get feedback on when you're on GT7 or you're racing AI or something like that. So I appreciate those guys in the league and the effort they put in to try to make sure everybody's on the same page.
yeah. They offered you training, and one-on-one
Yeah,
sessions.
yeah,
And I'll say this for the wheel disconnecting, um, any wheel that has LEDs on it doesn't have
mhm,
to have a screen. You want to put that on a powered USB. It
yeah,
it's the computer just can't take it after a while. It can't
yeah.
handle that constant current of power draw depending
Yeah.
on your brightness level, but you don't want to worry about that. You want to put it on power and give it more power than what it's drawing, and it'll regulate itself. But if it doesn't have enough power, then those issues happen. They occur.
And, and so one more time for everybody, and for me who's about to order this like damn near real time. What is the the USB hub uh you suggest? The Seabrant?
The
Is it
Sabrent,
that one? Sabrant,
yeah,
yeah.
but for you, I would do the four. The four should be fine because you don't have that many devices yet. Um, and it's cool because the four always has is compact and it has a place that you can put near your rig. So if you want to put your
Yeah.
computer to sleep, instead of having to unplug the Neo every time, you just press a button and it cuts the power. So that's another
Okay.
plus.
So their 4 port has the power button too?
Yes. And I'll
Okay,
include
cool.
that in the link. Whoever wants to buy one, they're
Yeah.
No
not that bad.
kickbacks.
They're like 20, yeah, no, zero kickbacks. Straight Amazon link.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so
Cool.
I get it. And it's something you kind of had to go through to see why it's so important to have that.
Yeah, that's my first time having that happen. So, and also I feel like just from our discussions before, that'll probably address some of the other issues I must have with iRacing because
Mo-
some of it might have been connectivity, like not network, but some of the USBs kind of like falling off and reconnecting or something like that. So,
Well, you
yep.
got to look at a PC as a more demanding platform than a console because a console is designed to do one thing. Your PC
Yeah.
is running Trading Paint, Sim Hub, a lot of background stuff going on. So you want to
Yeah.
keep it, you want to give it more power so that way it doesn't have to worry. That's one less thing to worry about. That's all.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I see a nice little attachment to the rig there behind
Oh
you.
yeah.
I
Yeah, man.
haven't seen
It's
it, man. I've been
courtesy of
out MIA for a little bit. Looks good, bud.
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
man. That's courtesy of Jeff Verstappen over here, man.
Yeah. Looks good. I
But
hope
nah,
you liking
man.
it,
But
pal.
oh yeah, yes. I got the buttons mapped on it. I got the lovely dashboard running on it. It's been great, man. I'm getting more immersion, freed up
Yeah.
some buttons on my wheel. It's been cool, man. Yeah, I'm loving it.
It's excellent.
All right,
Yeah.
Jeff. What about you, man? It's been a while.
Yeah, dude.
It's you kind of been MIA. I don't know. I don't know.
Dude,
I've been speculating. I saw something in the notes here, and
I've been
I can't wait to
I've
hear.
been driving everything. If
Yeah.
there's a race for it, I've been driving it.
Hey.
I've been doing like trophy trucks, rallycross, uh, NASCAR trucks, oval, Indy. Um, dude, if there was a race, I didn't get credit for like any of them because they're all like unranked races, and
Ah.
I got to eventually just kind of like pick a couple and work through them.
Mhm.
Get out of rookies in that class so you can like have real races because they're a mess, and I'm part of the mess because especially like trophy trucks, like you kind
Yeah.
of need an e-brake, I imagine, right? And I don't. The stupidest thing of me was when I sold my previous gear, I included the shifter and the e-brake, and I should have kept it and just kept it off
Well,
the
Tucked it
rig.
away.
wait a
So
minute. Wait a
here,
minute. Wait a minute.
here we go.
You had a Fanatec chip.
I did, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that
Oh, it
Fanatec,
wouldn't have worked.
it wouldn't have worked.
It
You would
wouldn't have
have to
worked because
buy
it,
a
yeah,
$30 adapter just for it to
Yeah.
work, which
you're
is
right.
kind of
Uh,
So
you can get an
I've been in the
e-brake,
market.
bro.
I've been in the market.
mhm.
I just got to press that button.
Sim Hub.
Sim Shop has a. I always call it Sim Shack for some. I apologize to them. Sim Shop has
Sim
a
Shop.
killer deal on a
Mhm.
one of their sequentials. So I'm like, I got to just pull the trigger because I'm never going to get a deal.
So
It's
it's a
like
Sim Magic
30%
then.
off. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
Um,
the combination? The H
no, I think
gate?
it's just a straight. It's one of their nicer ones. It's got the LED readout on it. I forget the make
Oh
and
yeah,
model
the
on it.
Q1.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
That's the
okay.
it's
Q1.
yeah, it's a solid one. I mean, they got a killer deal. It's only like $30 more than their, I say bottom of the line. Their entry level, I think is the right word they like to use.
That's a good
Um,
Yeah.
one. That's better
yeah,
than mine.
it's
That's because
all metal,
yeah.
solid. So I'm just like, just do it, because it's and I'm in the market for I've reached out to a handful of people on Facebook Marketplace for a real wheel, round wheel, so I
Oh
can
yeah.
figure out what I like size wise before if I'm going to get a nice one, because I have another quick release that'll just jump right on there. So, um,
Oh,
Yeah,
But dude,
nice.
70 millimeter.
yeah,
So
I've just been driving everything.
That's
Um,
what's up, man.
like we have a family friend that's on the island this week, and the dude, different social economic status than I am, he's got like a Ferrari 430, a
Ooh.
Viper,
oh wow,
like he's got. I don't know how I'm
rich.
friends with him. He's really my parents' friends, but neither here nor there. So he was over the house last night, and like I jumped in the Ferrari, the Viper that he has, and like I was cruising around Monaco, or the highways system in Japan, that they have, and he thought it was like the
Yeah.
coolest thing ever.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, he's about to get on one, man.
yeah, he's like,
Another
"Oh man, it's
convert.
got like the same thing here, the stitching," and I was like, "Man, that's pretty cool." So
Yeah,
I've just been just driving, just and the
s-
only thing that kind of sucks is I love my wheel, wouldn't trade my wheel for the world. But
Yeah.
when you're like when we were in the
it just
Viper,
don't
it
work,
does it
man.
doesn't work, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And when you're driving rallycross and you're like,
Oh, yeah.
nah,
it
man.
it just doesn't
You'll
work.
get smacked around by all the chunky grips.
Yeah.
It's not
Yep.
gonna
Yeah.
work out. It
So
won't.
Hurt yourself, man.
I really just need to, it's gonna be because Jason, you've seen my rig where I've kind of tried to almost make like the fuselage thing of the F1 car.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna have to do a little bit kind of move
Modification.
away from there just because, dude, I don't know. I just
Well,
wasn't
look at
doing
me, dude.
anything. Yeah,
I'm
wasn't doing
telling you.
anything great, but I was just having a good time just driving all different types of stuff.
That's why I
Yeah.
took the. So there's a there's a difference, right? Because and I'm speaking for myself, and now I'm
Yeah.
speaking to you because you can relate now, and it's kind of like, well, if you want to drive different sims, you have to give up some of the immersion to get the usability or the compatibility or whatever it is. I took the
Yeah.
roof off my rig that I built, completely took it off, and ever since
Mhm.
I took it off, I'm happy. I'm happier. Now I'm not. It looked cool, and I could probably
Mhm.
get some sick shots from it,
Mhm.
but that's not all I do. That's not, and you're finding out that that's formula is what your heart is, but it's not all you do. So
Yeah,
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 that's
it's
good
cool. Just
advice.
the stuff I never had. I mean, I think I
uh,
did it once back when I first started iRacing a trophy truck, but I was like, man, this is like, it's just fun. It's super fun, right? And that's, I guess, why we have these rigs is to blow off steam and
experience.
have fun, right? At the end of the day. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends, right? Some are more competitive than others.
nah, that's fair. Yeah,
Um,
but they're still having fun. I get. I hope.
no,
Yeah.
regardless, it's always
Yeah.
fun. It should be. And if you're not having fun, then something's wrong.
Yeah.
No
Something's not
truer
right.
rules.
You
Yeah.
gotta
Yeah.
figure it out, man.
That's
I don't
something
know how I
that,
don't know how you're not having fun.
well, you cannot have fun by being uncomfortable or by getting pains
Mhm.
where
Oh,
from
yeah. Yeah, if it's
improper
hurting you.
seating
Yeah.
or being too hot in the rig or something that can ruin it. But,
Oh, yeah.
if everything is okay and your system is running and you're not having fun,
Yeah.
then it's just simply not for you. I mean, I have no other way to, I can't say
Yeah.
anything else, to say anything about that.
Yeah. It could be the case for
Yeah.
sure.
Some people might think it looks cool and they try it and maybe it's not for everybody. Um,
Yeah.
a good majority love the hobby though.
I sure hope
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
And your
It's
friend,
growing. It's growing like crazy.
yeah, and your friend that has these high-end vehicles and has a different status than us,
Mhm.
the hobby doesn't choose between, there's, how do I put this? You got Joe Rogan, you got
Yeah.
Cat
Jeez.
Williams that are millionaires and they have simulators when they could easily buy the same car
Dude,
and
I
he
already
race
came
have
it.
the car.
over and his wife stepped out and he's like, "Hey, how much do I need to get one of these?"
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tell
He's
them to
he's
watch
gonna
the
have
show,
one.
man.
Yeah,
We
how much
covered
do I
Yeah.
need?
basically everything here. I'm
Oh,
about to
yeah.
cover how to build the PC,
They gave
which
it
Hey,
to me.
yep.
yeah. So
Exactly.
that's a
Hey,
good starting point for him.
hey, look,
Um,
it's cheaper than a Viper or a Ferrari.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
and it keeps you out of trouble because you can afford it
Yeah.
and
Yep.
you can drive it hard, but
Yep.
there's people
You
out
can.
there watching you. Gotta be careful, you know.
Yeah, he
And
was
that
like,
applies to me too. I have a heavy foot. I've always had,
Mhm.
and this thing keeps me in check because when I want to
Oh,
go
yeah.
really fast, I save it. I save that energy and come here and try to
Yeah.
improve the immersion as much as I could to get that feedback, which costs money. That equals money. But if we're talking pound for pound, there's no
Oh yeah.
comparison. You
Yeah.
you can, for the cost of one of those vehicles, you could build something crazy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for sure.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I was ripping
Definitely.
around in like the SF, the Super Formula car around Spa with brake bound, doing all the things. And he's
Mhm.
like, "You can drive my cars anytime you want."
Yeah,
I was like, "I
that's
don't
what's
have to
up.
replace a
That's hilarious.
transmission, a differential, any of that stuff if I blow it here." So,
Right, right,
but
right. That's what's up though. Good. I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that because there's a lot of people asking about you, Jeff, and GRL is trying to find a way to create a formula race. I just spoke with the one of the admins just today. No, just this morning. You know, before I had my whole busy day today, I had a message and I was telling him that you're in Hawaii and that some hours of the day you can't make it. So they're trying to see for a way.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if I told you
Mm.
this, Jason, but I am officially getting out of the military now. So,
That's
fixing
what's
to
up.
have
Oh.
fixing to have some more time. So,
That's what's up, man.
it is
You're
not easy to get
no.
out of the military, nor is it quick. I'm like, holy shit. So it's gonna
Yeah,
take some time.
it'll take a time.
Uh,
It'll take a while, but
but
there's a threshold.
I'll be transitioning
Yeah.
away from work time,
Yeah, that's what I
because
mean. Once you
that's
cross
yeah.
that line, it starts to
Yeah.
go like this, and you start handing things off. And then you start going less and less until you don't go no more. You know what I mean?
Guys, now
Basically.
I just gotta figure out what I want to do when I grow up. So and where I want to live and
Ah,
stuff. So
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well, this is a great life update. I mean,
Yeah,
um,
definitely.
we've learned a
Congratulations, man.
lot
nice.
here.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get you to try the league because
Oh, dude.
everybody that has
Yeah.
they're loving it. Like Mike from the Sim Racing Den has made it a permanent thing, and that's a
Oh
busy
yeah.
man too, very busy. And
Yeah.
he's on there twice a week with me, and we had some free coaching today from a pro driver teaching us.
That's
It,
cool.
he improved
Yeah.
like a second off his lap time in
That's
less than five
crazy.
minutes.
Yeah.
And if you want to see that, if you don't believe me, not you guys. I know you
Okay.
guys. I hope you guys believe
Yeah.
me. But anybody watching the show doesn't believe that, go to my Twitch channel and watch today's stream, which would be, a few days from now when you
Well,
watch
Yeah.
this.
I mean,
And you'll see.
Are you saying that Mike P had the time to be able to dock off?
So,
Just kidding,
a
Mike.
little, a
Just kidding,
little.
Mike. You're a friend of the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mike's cool.
He's cool. Yeah, I'm
And
just giving him a hard time.
he's live on comms with me on the stream. You can hear him talking.
Yeah.
And it's a great place. It's a great place.
Yeah.
Now, um, there's rules, as Eric could tell you. You know, there's some
Yes.
rules that you need to follow,
Yep.
and they're serious about it because the experience is in a good healthy state
Mhm.
because people follow the rules and
Yeah.
because people are in line. So
Yep.
when those things happen, there was a rain of support come down on Eric. They were a little hard on him, but then after that,
Yeah.
it was a rain of support in the chat
Yeah.
and calling him out by name, saying that we're here to support you. If you want to do a one-on-one session, if you're not sure what to do, all the stuff. And
Yeah.
this is 1,000% free of cost, which
Yep.
is insane.
I'm telling
So,
you, man.
so I'm telling you, Jeff, until you get on grid and you feel that pressure, and when there's 50 other cars on
Yeah.
track,
Oh
and
yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
they're all
Chirping,
talking,
chirping.
and they're all there, and they're all
Yep.
fast. You
Yeah.
there is no slow nobody. If anything,
Yeah.
we're slow because we're new there. And
Exactly.
and you do a decent lap time that you thought was decent, and you look up and you're like, oh, that's not
Damn.
even yeah, that's
That's
not
the
even
worst feeling. That's the
yeah, just
worst feeling.
I forget it wasn't this race, but I think the race or two races prior, one of the guys in there is like a 9,000 I
That's
rating.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
9,000.
Alien
Alien.
Damn.
Yeah.
for sure.
And he would there's a lot of stories. Anyway, we could talk about this forever.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
I'll get right into it. Today I'm going to cover, it's not going to be a crazy in-depth guide. If you guys want that, please let me know and I can make a super in-depth guide and talk to you about cores, cache, and what frequencies, what do those mean, and overclocking. But
Yeah.
for those people that are just looking to upgrade, or they got a PC that was handed down and they want to add some parts, or you're brand new and you want to see, how much money can I spend and how much performance can I get. So my personal opinion with building a PC, the PC is the brains of everything. It is it has a motherboard, which the motherboard controls your wheel. It controls your pedals. It controls everything that's connected to that device. If it's on a hub, that hub is going to the motherboard. You know what I mean? And that motherboard needs, how do you say this? It's always better to go with a mid range to a high because of the cost of a PC these days. And if you go too low, then you'll find yourself spending more in the long run trying to upgrade that low end and keep it fresh, you know? Because the more devices you add to a computer, the more software that you run in the background, depending on the sim that you're running, depending on the mods that you have installed. Windows is another mess. It's a terrible OS, and everybody knows it. And when there's an update, you're praying that
Yeah.
things don't break with it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and they and it happens quite often. I mean, they've been getting better at it lately. I don't want to speak too soon, but
Yeah.
I'm going to
Well, that
present today two options. And the first option, again, I'm going to keep this very simple. The first option is NZXT. And NZXT, if you Google NZXT right now, they have a bad reputation. They do. They have a bad reputation because of a subscription model that they're trying to charge people for PC gamers, and they won't let. There's a lot of controversy about that. But we're not talking about their subscription model. I'm talking about buying from them because one, you don't have to build the PC if you're not comfortable. They will build it for you. It's a flat rate of $100, but it's $100 of a 2-year guarantee of their workmanship. And here's the thing with NZXT, the prices are retail. There is no markup. That is the one thing
mm,
about them. So if you happen to found to excuse me, if you happen to find a 9800 X3D, that's what I have back here, and I paid $400 for it. If you go on the street, a 9800 was going for like 800, 900 because of scalpers. NZXT protects you from the scalpers. And they didn't reach out. I'm not a partner. I'm nothing. I'm just I am the host of this show, and I'm trying to save you
mhm.
money. I'm gonna encourage you to spend a little, but in the long run, you're gonna thank me later. You're gonna
Jason,
thank
That's
me.
good.
you
That's
pointed
crazy.
me you pointed me over there to them, and I, you know, built a PC with some of your help, and it was like 3 days later, this box sitting at my doorstep.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I could nothing but good things to say about them over there.
and that's us being in Hawaii.
Yeah, super fast shipping,
Oh,
and I was like,
yeah,
"This
that's
thing's gonna come in a
crazy.
million
Yeah,
pieces."
it came
Yeah,
literally over the weekend.
Yeah.
We hit
that's
by
crazy.
Monday morning. PC's built. What do?
Wow.
You plug it in. There is no what you call this. Well, there's the
That's
Windows
cool, man.
setup. You got to sign
Mhm.
in.
Yeah.
Like any other person would sign in, but you're ready to
Yeah.
go racing. And I recommend that route because PC building is not hard. You can YouTube it and you can find a guide on where to put parts. But if you're
Yeah.
not comfortable touching parts or handling these pieces, they got you. They got professionals that are working there. They do a nice, clean cable management. Jeff could tell
Looks
you
like
the
$1,000,000.
clean. Yeah.
So how are they making money? Because that's crazy.
Well, I'm about to show you,
Handlebars and
bro.
all that stuff. I'm just
We're about to
saying.
show you, bro, right now.
Look, I'm just saying because the $100 flat fee for assembling your computer, are these like, are you just picking the parts and you tell them to put it in? And I
I'm
guess
gonna.
if you're
I,
professional, then
Dude,
so
whatever.
it's
But
like
yeah.
you click on something and then like your the PC the box whatever I don't know what the hell it's called and it'll tell you like what fits in there what you can select. Oh, if you want that, you got to go change this. Um,
yeah, I'm gonna go
Wow.
through that right now, gentlemen. So
get it.
one thing I recommend is don't buy pre-built PCs. That is the biggest scam, and stay away from refurbished because we don't want anything used. Who
Oh
knows
yeah.
what's wrong with it? And we don't want subscriptions because I
Now,
have
what
too
is
many
this
subscriptions
subscription?
already.
Well, never mind. No,
No,
we
we're
don't
not
want
even
it.
gonna go there.
Whatever it is, we don't want
Don't
it.
even
Yeah.
bother, dude. So, like for example, if I go to, let's see, it looks different on the. See, these are the pre-built custom PCs, right? Look how
Mhm.
easy this is, guys. Customize a PC. Now, this is a very important screen. This will give you an example of how many FPS you'll get. We don't care about these. We're sim racers. We
Yeah.
do care about 1440p gaming. Recommend.
Yeah.
And we do care about the chipset being AMD because AMD is king and they've been king for 5 years and they're still the king. So sorry for you Intel fanboys
It's
out there. You
gonna
can come
trigger
and
some
get me.
people.
Yeah, you can come and
Yeah.
attack. I'm ready.
Yeah. We're
Um,
down that hill right now.
so AMD, right? Let's say, mm, let's start with the 1500 build, the budget. But I'm
Mhm.
going to show you a trick or two. So here it is, loading. Yep. So I'm going to give you guys a rundown. It comes with an H7 flow. Um, I don't know what's wrong with this. Okay, there it is. So, software. Do you need Windows Pro? The answer is no.
No.
You don't need Windows Pro for gaming. Now, if your productivity, if you want to use the PC for like work and gaming, then get the Pro license. It's an extra $30. Okay. So the tower. You can save a little money by dumping down the tower, but I always recommend a tower that has many fans so that way you don't have to put fans later. You know what I mean? Like this right here has, well, I would have to go, you can select the color too. You can look, Eric, you like white builds. That would have been the one for you right here.
Yes, sir. Hey, I saw that motherboard. I was tempted.
So I don't want to go into detail, right? But what you could basically do is you can search up each tower and see what they come with. RGB. There's higher tiers. Well, right now I'm trying to save you money. This is kind of like, does it matter? No, it doesn't really matter. We don't see the tower. If you're going for a triple screen, you don't really see the tower. And even if you do, it's a novelty. I will say it. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing to look at. But when you're
Yeah.
racing, you're not looking at the PC. You're looking at you're down range. You're down on the track.
Exactly.
So I wouldn't worry about RGB because you're just paying more for looks. Now here's where it gets interesting. Cooling. I always recommend uh, something that has. See, all of these are RGB because they're trying to push you onto the RGB. But
Yeah.
I would always recommend because cooling is one of the most important things. I would compare the difference between these two, and I'll say I'll go. Let's say I'll go with this. Why? Because there's no honestly, water cooled is the way to go. Liquid cooling is the most efficient and it's quiet. You know what I mean? It has fans,
Yep.
but it's quiet. You can also add more fans, but more on that later. So your motherboard. That's the motherboard I have right here, the 870. So motherboard depends on the chipset that you want to put in. So before you select the motherboard, I would go down to this right here, CPU. And to keep it simple, right? Anything that has a 3D clock is always going to be faster for gaming because it has a separate core dedicated for gaming. So it's always going to be then the X series. The X series is more geared towards productivity users, even if it's clocked higher. I will take this chip and overclock it, and it'll beat this chip to death, even if it's
That's what
more
I have.
expensive.
The
Yeah,
7800 3DX.
nice. That's a great processor, right? So now with these are grayed out because this motherboard doesn't support that chip. So if you want, you would have to look at basically the differences, right? You know, this is a 200 plus 290. You save money. I mean, you spend a little more money, but you got to look at what you're getting. This probably has Wi-Fi 7. This probably has more slots. This probably has um they all support the current gen. See, any 9000 series right now, even the 7000s are AM5, and that is the
Yeah.
current gen of today. So you would be good with that. So just to keep it simple, again, I don't want to go into detail. I'll be here all night. If it, if I so I would have to look at, let me see. So here you got RAM capacity and the highest RAM speed with the 5200. Now let's compare. If I pay an extra 290, what am I getting? Okay, their website is kind of okay, a little slow. So here it is. Wi-Fi is engineered. Let me see. 9000 series processor, PCIe 5. So PCIe 5 and Wi-Fi 7, as predicted. Look, called it. PCIe 5 is 50 series GPU ready. The 5090, you'll be able to maximize performance on this.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
USB 4 is really fast. USB ports. Most sim racing gear uses USB 2, just so you know. The thing about sim gear is the power consumption.
Yeah.
But look at the RAM capacity, RAM speed. So it just depends. And AM5 as predicted. There it is, AM5 socket. So will I would spend the extra money on this. Why? Because it's future proofing. Wi-Fi 7 is the next is actually the current, and not even there's not many routers that support it yet. But that doesn't mean it can't do Wi-Fi 6 or 5 or and so on and so forth. So if I pick this motherboard, and of course there's a lot that goes into this, like how many USB ports. I'm just trying to shorten it so that way you guys can see, um, kind of get an idea, right? So now, hmm. So these might be. Let me see something.
Let's
Uh,
see.
It's grayed out for some
Could it
reason.
be that they're out of stock?
It could be. It could be. It should support that chipset. Um,
Yeah, because it's supporting the new 9700 series. So
yeah, all of these are the same. It should be the same socket size. It might be out of stock, but
yeah,
right here, your GPU, skipping over to your GPU. I mean, your options. Look, you got a 4090 triple fan.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh. That's a tall drink of water, baby.
Mm-hmm.
sheesh,
We got to check retail pricing on that
my
just to
goodness.
make sure. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to sell at retail. Um,
You have the 4070 Ti above it. That's what I'm running.
so this for this price is not worth it, hands down. I'll tell you now, it's not worth it. So let's say you did get a 4070. You said a Ti. Oh
Yeah,
wait,
that one. I don't think they're. I can't
it's not
see.
available. It's like grayed out for me for whatever
Yeah,
reason. So here you can see the TDP approximate. um, and the clock speed and everything else. You want to do research. You want to watch reviews. You want to Google all of this. You want to go on YouTube and see. Just Google the name of the graphics card and check out performance. But usually a 4070 is pretty damn good. So as you can see,
Yeah.
this price jump, this we're at 2300, and I'm not even done with power supplies.
And RAM.
It looks like they're low on stock. It's probably because of this President's Day sale that they got going on.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's at the time of this recording, guys. So maybe come back and check this out. Um, yeah, I would not buy anything under anything under an 850 at this point. I would try and get yourself a 1,000 watt. Um,
Yeah. I
which
actually
it
just upgraded to that same power supply to 850 in white.
oh, this one, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's your RAM, and it supports it. So supports up to 8,000. You can also get this one, but honestly, just look at RAM timings, which is another conversation, a totally
Oh yeah.
different conversation with RAM timings and all kinds of stuff. SSD, oh, they're like really low on stock,
Yeah, I mean,
really
Yeah.
low. So let me go back, and I'm doing this real time with you guys. I didn't plan this. Let me look at
Yeah.
the. Let me
Ramp it
look
up.
at a. Yeah, let me
Yeah.
look at a high build just to see.
Or maybe those parts are compatible, but they see the budget. Maybe that's why they're grayed out.
Yeah, but
Because
even
when
if
you
you pick
throw,
that higher budget, you can manipulate this still and
yeah.
make it your own and take off money here and there.
yeah.
Oh,
But let
okay.
me
I
let
mean,
me yeah.
yeah, because that's what I did. I was like,
Yeah, they're not in stock is what
yeah.
it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They're
But it's a
not these.
super useful tool to your point, Jason, over like trade off here to add more there,
Right.
Yeah.
and real time pricing. It just is super easy, and then it just shows that like me, some people are into the PC building. That is right over my head. Just show up. I want to plug it in and I want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have like today's recording is the 13th. So in 5
Yeah.
days that this thing will be shipped exactly how you want it, exactly how you customized it. All
Yeah.
right, so I'm gonna look at another tool, and this one is gonna be more geared toward um, you people that want to custom build, that have a little more hands-on approach. So I think it's a tool that Eric likes. I'm pretty sure
Yep.
he visited this website before.
Oh yeah. Once or
So this
twice.
is PC Part Picker, right? Now look how cool this is. It already gives me a link to this build. So I can share what I'm building to you right away. And you can open it and see what I did. So
Yep.
let's say I wanted a CPU. And let's say I want that 7800X 3D, and it costs $49.99. You see the difference in pricing. It's way higher.
Yep.
So let's do that. And then I go and I think, yeah. So this will automatically tell you what motherboard that chip is compatible with.
Yep.
So let's say you had a motherboard and you typed it up in here, you could see what socket, if it works. You can see the form factor, which is a huge thing, and the AM5, right? AM5 socket should be all of them because of that CPU that I chose. So
Yep.
this is just, I mean, it's a quick thing I wanted to show you guys on how to, um, different options and tools for you to build your first PC.
Mm.
Um, Again, to recap this, I would stay away from pre-builds, because pre-builds are going to sell you something that you may not want, right? There's going to be a part in there that's going to be like, okay, I guess I'll accept that part. It's not like NZXT, which I can see if it has parts that work for my situation. Or
Yeah.
if you have a PC and you want to upgrade it and you're not sure if a part is compatible, I didn't show you guys, but PC Part Picker will also total out the amount of wattage that your PC is projected to pull, which is a huge thing. But I will
Yeah.
say this, the higher you go, the better off you'll be, because you don't want to push 750 watts on a 850 CPU. You're choking it to death, essentially. It's working at full capacity, max load.
Yeah.
Um, and if anything spikes, anything happens, it could be a problem.
Yeah,
So
to say the
I'm
least.
just I know this guide is more geared to the very beginner that doesn't really know about PC components and parts.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a good
and
starting point.
once, yeah, and once something that, hey, I want to sim race, and I want to sim race right now, and I want it, I want to just hit buy, and it come here.
Yeah.
Because honestly, bro, like building a rig, putting it together, then you have a PC with a million parts on your table. Then you got to build that. Some people like it,
Yeah.
some people don't. Some people have the
Yeah.
time to do that too. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, those are two good tools um, to look out for and catch a sale. I know probably by the end of this recording, by the time this recording airs, that sale might be gone, but it's not the only sale. I purchased during Black Friday and they had, very good discounts, and it'll total out at the end and give you a final price. And then you can
Yeah.
compare those parts to the market. You can also use it as a tool. You can take those parts, see where the market compares to, and if it's cheaper to go that route and have them build it for you, then by all means. That's
Oh yeah.
why I had it pre-built. That's one of the reasons I wanted a 9800 X3D, and I wanted it now. And it was sold out everywhere. And they had it at MSRP. Um,
Can't
so
beat it,
yeah,
man.
that's
Yeah.
my take on PCs. Honestly, um, any decent motherboard in 2025 is going to be good. Any
Yeah.
brands I recommend, I guess. Well, MSI is a great brand. I like ROG is a great brand. Nvidia is
Yeah.
a great brand. AMD. So that's 90% of your computer built already. Um,
Yeah.
and NZXT coolers, because that's what they're known for. That's what they started out doing, was cases and AIOs, all in one coolers. So their
Yeah.
coolers, I trust them. I've this is my second NZXT build, and not a single issue. And I think Jeff
Yep.
has one, and I don't think he's had a problem with it either. It
Nope, nothing. No, I shouldn't have
sat
said
it down, yeah.
this is me knocking on wood. Yeah.
Yeah.
Other
Yeah, man.
than Windows and Nvidia Surround, but that's any PC you build. I have the same issues.
Can't get away from that.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's getting
Yeah.
better. It's getting better with.
Oh, don't let them off the hook.
I know. I'm trying
Be
to
positive.
a little positivity on the show. If it's not
Uh,
EA, it's freaking
fair enough. Yeah, we do have our
it's
yeah.
Nvidia. If it's not Nvidia, it's I don't know, bro. I
Yeah,
don't know.
man. Yeah, I'll say that NZXT site is dope because even with me, like I've worked with computers for like almost 20 years and know my way around them pretty well. And went on PC part picker, pick my stuff. And if you're familiar with building computers, but it's not your job every day, it's maybe been a couple of years since you built one. Um, it it gives you a little bit of peace of mind. But even once you get the parts at home, it's still yeah, I mean, especially if you're doing like the RGB route, and I got a AIO that has a display on it, and all this stuff. There's a couple more things to plug up and connect and configure than you might have done in the past. But
Right.
having for $100, like I'm not gonna lie, it took me about 2-3 days to build my PC and get everything plugged up, configured, working,
I
and that's with me being fairly
Oh,
I would consider
knowledgeable
myself
for real.
expert
Yeah.
level, but
Wow. Okay.
just having the case, putting like from taking the motherboard out the box, like if you don't do that every day, you're gonna have to look up stuff and kind of double check, and
You're gonna have to
if you don't have
stop
that time,
and
yeah,
check to see if this goes plugged in here. If that goes
Exactly.
plug
Look
in
at the
here.
manual and
So I
Oh,
will say this.
I'd still
yeah.
be there putting my thing together.
So put it
Yeah.
this way: you bought parts from Amazon or PC Part Picker.
Yeah, I bought it from Amazon.
All those
I use
parts, most of
yeah.
them have a warranty. Like
Oh, all of mine. Yeah, for sure.
motherboards usually come with a 5-year warranty.
Yeah.
Usually, depending if you go with a name brand, like the ones I mentioned.
Yeah.
Um, However, those are, how do you say this? Um, a manufacturer defect. But if
Yeah.
you
They're
install
limited.
the part and you snap the pin,
Yep.
you dropped it, something happened to it.
Oh,
That's
it
on
came that
you.
way.
Yeah. So you buy something from NZXT, they're guaranteeing the entire PC for the cost. That's how I look at it. For the cost of $100,
Yeah.
you buy a TV today in Best Buy that costs 2 grand, which is about the same amount of money we're talking about, and they're going to
Mhm.
charge you $200 or $300 to insure that TV for 3 years. Am I
Oh
wrong?
yeah. Oh yeah.
So
That's definitely true.
NZXT is charging you $100 to ship an item that's shipped, built, and guaranteed for 2 years. You
Yeah.
can't beat that.
Not at
You
all.
can't beat it.
You will not beat it.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
witness.
Just make sure that you compare though. You compare prices and you
Yeah.
how do you say this? Watch the market and don't rush into a PC build either. If you're not sure about it, do the
Yeah.
research. Don't just buy it because it looks cool.
Yeah.
Do your research and don't look at raw numbers. I know what we displayed is because I'm on a time limit here on the show, but
Yeah.
I'm just trying to present a tool that you can use, Whether you
Yeah.
decide to buy from them or not, it's still a good indicator on, well, how much would this cost?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have that question, how much should I spend? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it depends what kind of build you're looking for, but I recommend at least stay on the current gen, AM5 gen. Do
Yeah.
not buy anything older than that. And for GPUs, I would recommend you stay on the 40 series. The 30 series is already sunsetting. The 20
Yeah.
series, man, I feel bad. I feel for you. I feel for you. It's
Yeah.
about to go down in history. Unless you're running a single screen and you want to turn the graphics way down, then it depends. Well, what are your priorities? What do you want? Do you want immersion or do you want both immersion and performance? That's something to
Yeah.
think about.
Yeah.
So,
If you're purchasing today, you know, like we say, cry once, buy once,
yes.
save up, get a 40 series specifically because it is kind of being grandfathered into some of the newest Nvidia tech that they came out with.
Yeah,
So
DLSS, it's a big one.
it'll support a lot of the same features that the 50 series card will support. And also the 50 series just in raw power isn't that big of a jump over the 40 either. So if
Right.
you
We,
can
we, we
get a
lightly
scrap one of
touched,
those,
and that's
yeah,
why we're doing this one because,
yeah,
it was a good little segment. And I just figured, well, let's piggyback off that because
yep,
it's trying to, you may look at it like an expense, like insane, but you can easily, if a PC like kind of the ones that they're trying to sell you,
mm,
that's a good 5 or 6 years of service. And when you want to upgrade it, you don't really have to change much out of it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Hopefully, hopefully.
yeah,
Um, but anyway, and they hold their value too. When you buy brand name stuff, they always hold their value. I was able to sell my PC. I got it. I got like 1,500 back.
oh
Um,
yeah,
so I mean,
Nice.
there's always people looking to buy something. And if you take care of your stuff and you buy quality parts, that is the better off you'll be in the long
yeah,
run.
man,
So,
for sure.
all right.
Yeah,
So, and I can't believe I made through that because I,
hey,
I don't
you
know.
powered through, man.
I know. It's
You
just
got into it.
exciting. Talk about hardware.
Yeah,
Um, I don't want to go into depth, but if you guys have questions, that send us an email.
yeah,
I will give you the facts on stuff. Um, if you need them, if you need me to, or any of the guys here, they can chime
yeah,
in.
yeah,
Uh,
sure. definitely. But I'll give you a rest, Jason. I'm I'm gonna go into my topic here, and this is one that I've seen, and I've been answering as many questions as I can in Facebook groups and discords. But if and I'm gonna have to unplug it just because it only works if it's plugged into the PS5, which is kind of stuck over there. But if you're not familiar with this device, this is the Sigma Cortex converter. So this puppy right here is what allows you to use SimMagic gear, pedals, wheels, handbrakes, shifters, all of that stuff on your PS5. And we had someone
Looks
reach
slick,
out.
dude. I didn't think it was that small. Yeah.
Yeah, it's now
It's a
not to
chunky
toot our
guy.
Yeah, she's got a little girth to it, if you will.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
there's a little girth there going on there, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's chunky, and just for context, like this is it next to like a PS5 controller. If I don't knock my setup over, but
Yeah, that's not bad.
yeah, not too big. It does have a Type C port, and it comes with all the cables you need, and it has a 4-port hub on the top
Nice. Okay.
built to focus. Yeah, so it's really compact, well built, aluminum. Has a display that when you plug it in, it'll light up. Like I said, my PS5 is over there, but I'm gonna go through my settings in response to an email that we got um, requesting that just kind of want to know what my settings are, and I'm going to add the gentleman's name here. One second. Mr. Josh Barnett, and actually he's in Alabama as well, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, racing
Yeah, man.
GT7.
There's a lot of people
Um,
that stood up when
Roll
you said
Tide.
Alabama.
yeah, man, this hey, I ain't gonna get into the roll tide conversation. I'm not a roll tide person. Do not come for me. All right. I support the school. I support the school. They got my money. It wasn't
Oh,
Alabama,
no. Oh,
so
no.
they
Oh,
didn't get.
no.
That's not who I support. But I'm gonna plug this in, and I'm gonna go through the settings here for a second.
Okay. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
So,
So this will be. Yeah. Sure. Go ahead.
eh, this is real quick. I mean,
Mm.
Eric bought this out of pure faith. I
Oh
told
yeah.
him there's a converter. It may or may not work. And
Yeah.
he became like a
Legend,
expert, like a SME, a subject
dude.
matter expert. There's
I
people
remember.
pinging him and messaging him on Discord. You guys need
Oh
to pay
look.
attention if you
I
got one of
remember
these.
when you posted on, I forget which Facebook group it was, but like the
Oh
comments in
yeah.
there were gold. They're like the hero we didn't know we needed but all
Oh
wanted.
look.
You know, it was like
Yeah, that was cool, man.
oh shit,
Yeah.
it was
That.
awesome.
Yeah. Because it
Yeah.
was because Jason and Jeff, you might be this way as well, but when we kind of get a hold of something, like we turn over every rock,
Oh
every
yeah.
pebble.
Oh
When we're
Always.
yeah.
researching something, we're digging
I click
through
on every single tab.
every tab, I'm reading the
See.
manual. I'm looking online. I download it to my phone. Every video, every piece of content, information about it, forum, Reddit
Give it
post.
to
I'm
me.
looking at it just so I kind of have an idea of what I'm getting. And there wasn't a lot of there were like pieces of information in separate places, but there wasn't like one place where they kind of addressed because it's not native. So it's about 95% plug and play, just being transparent. And if you are racing anything other than GT7, I think that was really their focus, which makes sense. That's by far the largest
Yeah, oh,
game
yeah.
on PlayStation. Um, Based on which build you're running, it works with
That's the best
ACC.
racing game on PS5. I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah, yeah.
And
Community wise,
I mean, we got a set of Corsa there, but
yeah.
you
So the
can't. Yeah.
force feedback on the set of course is better than GT7, like by far. Even though
Yeah,
cars,
I'm just
even though,
saying, like,
but
you don't have access to the multiplayer servers, so it automatically kind of closes the community on
oh
PS5.
yeah, because you're stuck playing just PS5 people, which is not that many on
Yeah,
ACC
and
and
good luck getting a
mods
clean race
and
in there too.
oh yeah, Oh, like I got in there, man. It took me back to our Xbox days. People were talking crazy and stuff. I'm like,
Crashing.
is
Yeah.
this Call of Duty or a set of course? What's going on here, man? It was crazy, but yeah, it's a lifesaver. It really gives you some other options because I know we talked about some of the options that are out there for console play. Logitechs and
Yeah.
um, it just gives you an access to another ecosystem. And so just kind of I'm gonna have to be a little awkward here, but to go through, it gives you several different options. So pretty much all the options you have if you're running the software, you can do your total force, and I just read the option and the percentage I'm running. So for total force, I'm running 75%. I'm on the Sim Magic Alpha, so 15 Newton meter wheelbase. Total force 75%. Max torque is 80%. Wheel return speed is 20%. Smoothness is at a 4. And for GT7, they do something weird with the steering angle. They do some sort of like calculation based on the car you're in. So even if you set it at 600 based on the car you're in, it'll automatically kind of adjust it. So
Hmm.
right now I have mine at 600, but that was to match up with the Ferrari I was driving here most recently.
Which
And
is
so
weird.
you'll
That's so
yeah,
weird.
so I'll have to bump that up and bump it down. Like in Formula cars, I've nothing I do, I can get it to be 1 to 1 with
Not
kind of
even
how I move my
360,
hands.
because usually 360 is a formula.
Mm,
Formula is kind of just one turn like that. It won't go further than that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can try it again, but on
That's
here
why
I
the
bump it all
wheel's
the
so
way down.
small because,
Yeah, and
you
that's the
know,
reason why it kind of sucks because I'm having to move a lot more, and the person in the car is barely turning, and so I'm having to go hand over hand and stuff. But yeah, that's the only car I found that's kind of weird in GT7, and it might be a Cortex thing, but I'll follow up with it. I'll bump it
mm.
down to 360 and see if that
It
if
also
that
depends
fixes
on
it.
the type of wheel you're using too. If you're like a round wheel, then,
Yeah. Well, I'm a
but
Neo guy, so
if you got a
that's
Neo, then yeah,
yeah,
you can get away with using that for formula. You can
yeah.
get
It
away.
if yeah,
Slightly
it's I know it's
larger,
bigger, yeah,
yes,
bigger than a
slightly
Formula
though.
wheel.
Not by a lot.
Yeah,
It's still
and I
300. I mean, formula is like 275 in real
okay,
life
that's
or
small.
280. Yeah,
Okay,
because they
oh, so
keep
Neo's
changing
pretty
them
big.
or the cars change and the wheels kind of. But if you look at Jeff could probably definitely talk about this. This is his realm.
Yeah,
Um, but if you look at the fuselage, there's no room, bro. Like the fuselage is literally,
It's when they shave the fuselage so they can get their hand through.
bro. e-
oh, that's crazy,
Any false movement and you're hitting the
It's wild,
the
yeah.
metal,
man.
solid metal,
Yeah, that's
or whatever
that's
it is,
crazy.
carbon
Yeah,
fiber. I don't
carbon
know what.
fiber or yeah.
Oh, so they're
Yeah,
trying to get it as tight to the person as
that shit
possible.
is
Dude,
freaking
cut to their
freaky, dude.
hand. Yeah.
It's curved to their,
Sheesh,
yeah. So
man.
there is no back and forth in a formula. That the seating position, that's your car.
Oh yeah.
Ain't
Molded to
nobody
your
driving it.
ass.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm definitely way out of spec when it comes to driving this formula
And
stuff
it and
with
it
the
it makes
Neos.
sense, right? Because a GT style, you're upright. There's
Mhm.
more freedom to do this with your arms. They don't
Yeah.
have that option. These guys are
So it's got
laying
to be.
down. So you see my arms, the way they're bent, you
Yeah.
know, is a little bit more. I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean. The
Yeah. It's
car
pretty
needs to be
tight.
able to steer this like
Occasionally,
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
unless you're Lance Stroll.
Unless you're Stroll or Fernando that doesn't give a shit. That's why I love him. He doesn't give a shit. There was a meme. I'm sorry, I got to put this out, but there was a meme. He was
You-
like, Fernando, what tire do you want to put on next? He's like, I don't know. You pick the tire. I drive the
I
car.
drive the car.
You saw that, bro?
He
He
He's
said,
such
said,
a
I
"I don't
don't
driver's
care."
care.
driver, right? He's like, just put something
Yeah.
on there. I'll
He's like,
drive the
put
hell out of
whatever
this thing.
tire you want. It's not gonna make a difference.
That's hilarious. Hey, that's the driver though, man. It don't
Yeah,
matter. I'm gonna
he's
drive whatever it is. I'm gonna drive the hell out of it, so it don't
yeah.
matter.
He don't have to be there.
But
Lonzo's a billionaire. He's good.
those are the worst type of guys to work
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
Somebody that ain't got to be there.
He's in his
Oh yeah,
40s. He ain't got to be there. He can
Drives for the
retire
love of it.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I can't wait till I get to that point. I'm at work just for some shit to do.
Just
Right.
some shit to
Y'all
do.
gonna hate me. Like, I'm not doing nothing I want to do. Anybody say something crazy, I'm meeting you right there with it. But yeah, but
Man.
that's hilarious, man. But but just wrapping up these settings, like I said, the wheel angle limit, that's your steering angle. That's just what they call it in here. Mechanical spring are running 0, mechanical damper 25, mechanical friction is 20, mechanical inertia, central damper are both at 0. Feedback detail I have at 9. Feedback frequency is 0. And then for game spring, game damper, game friction, and game inertia are all at 100. And then for soft lock strength, I have it at default. And they have some other kind of specific options on here, like radio channel. Like you can set up different channels with sets of options that you can cycle through. Memory slots where you can save your settings, reset slots, and then you can do your center calibration, which on the SimMagic deal they do it automatically. You don't have to worry about that. But one important piece is make sure you plug your steering wheel separately into your PC, update the firmware on that, plug your wheelbase in, and set the torque to 100 in the wheelbase in the software. So that way, when you're adjusting this guy, the wheelbase is basically operating with the full 15 newton meters and not anything less. Um, and then make sure you're just keeping everything up to date as well. And
Yeah.
so, just for compatibility and also, this speaking of updates, this guy has updates. They've slowed down a little bit, which I guess if you've been looking at Sim Magic here recently, they've been kind of preoccupied. They've been dropping a lot of new stuff. But right now, this Cortex is kind of in a good place, especially for GT7. You're getting the actual direct drive feedback. Right when I got it, they were just coming out with direct drive. They were emulating a G29, and it was
Mm.
crazy. Like when you were running the build that doesn't do the G29, I mean, that does the G29 emulation, you could feel the clunk. Like when I first plugged it up, I was talking to Jason. I was like, this it says emulating the G29. When you plug it into the PlayStation, it shows a G29, and I had a G29. It felt like clunky, like it was physical gears in there. It was
Like the gear
unbelievable.
driven,
Yeah,
It
it
because
was
was
emulating the hell
crazy.
out of it.
Yeah, and then when I updated to the direct drive one, and everything just like tightened up, it was like a completely different product. And I felt like the direct drive difference, like just the smoothness of it, the quietness, like it was even loud, like almost like a gear driven deal.
Mhm.
I was like, this is crazy. But yeah, but
Oh, once you
updating
get
this
used to
guy,
that, dude, it's hard. You can't go back from you
oh
can't go
oh,
back to
I will not go back. Definitely will
that.
not. I'm for real. It's not happening.
There's no way. It's
Yeah.
yeah, there's no way.
Oh, and just to, I guess, speaking of the update, uh, I'm currently running firmware version 1.1.4. And
Okay.
so
As of
I don't
today.
have, yeah, so I don't have any, that's not the latest. The latest is 1.1.7, but 1.1.4 gives you, it's the one that works with ACC as well. That's
I see.
important. Yeah. I did have somebody reach out to me and they were having issues with it. And I was running 1.1.7, which for me, it doesn't make a difference. It adds in functionality for some of the other accessories like handbrakes and
Mhm.
sequential shifters and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
1.1.4, um, it solves an issue with ACC where as soon as you start the game up, well, not as soon as you start the game, as soon as you start a race, like you start the car up and you hit the gas, the wheel like just goes
I
full lock
remember that all
to
the
the right.
way,
Yeah.
right to the right or left or whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah, it just goes full lock and it scares the shit out of you the first and
Ah,
second.
yeah,
And
it's a
really every
strong
time
wheel.
it does it. Yeah, every time it
Going
does it,
yeah,
it's
it's a
like
strong
your
wheel
life.
doing that. You're not
Watch it.
expecting
So
it. Yeah.
yeah. So trying to make sure I covered everything that's important. Update the Cortex. If you're interested in ACC 1.1.4. And if you got any questions, drop them in the chat. I know the information is kind of scattered out there, and you know, I guess there's an opportunity for me to put together some sort of like just guide on the Cortex. Something I need to do. But right now, drop a question.
For
Email us
sure,
at the
man.
Chicane Podcast. Leave a comment on the video. Also,
Hey.
like and subscribe if you're not as well. But
Oh yeah, of
that's
course.
the Cortex.
I mean, it's a good tool, right? It's a good tool to get you
It's great.
uh yeah,
Yeah,
man. So that
yeah,
way
it's
you can
great.
buy the hardware that you really want to buy if you like the Sim Magic ecosystem
Mm,
and you can't technically get a PC yet. This is
yep.
an option that you can use the stuff that you bought and or pick it up on a sale, whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's worth it. I think it's like $100, right?
125. Yep.
Okay, 125.
Which is easy. I mean, if you are like me, which I knew at some point down the road, I wanted the option to move over to PC or at least experience PC, even if I didn't
Hmm.
move over there full time. And I literally plug in one cable, I plug it from here, plug it into my PC, and my haptics, pedals, wheel, everything. I connect my mag link, and I'm fully over PC. Taking advantage of SimHub. I got the lights on the Neo. Shout out to Daniel Newman. Um,
DNR.
yeah, I'm
I ordered the
fully.
beans, bro. I ordered the
Oh, you got
Good
beans.
it?
man.
I
Oh
paid
yeah.
$20 for a can that's coming from the UK.
Oh
And then
man.
he messaged me. He's like, "Yeah, the giveaway is over." I was like, "Daniel,
uh,
yeah, somebody won a year of DNR membership just for eating beans on toast."
oh man. So
So,
what you gonna do with
so
them
he's gonna
beans,
do
man?
this. I told him there needs to be another challenge, like fish and chips, or so I don't
Oh
know what's
yeah.
in the UK, like tea. I don't
Yeah,
know.
so they do have something else. I forget the name of it, but basically like a baked potato, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
like
Damn
eighty
it, I
percent of
forgot.
what we do, and then they slap beans and tuna on it. It's like,
Oh, tuna.
yeah, yeah, it's weird. It's like not to
Yeah,
knock the
yeah. Okay.
cuisine,
I
but
mean,
that's something that's different than how we do our baked potatoes. We might put half a pig on there or something like that,
if
but
bro,
beans and tuna is not the route we would go down. I'll say
I want to apologize.
that.
I want to apologize. If we have a viewer
Yeah.
from the UK, please correct us, please.
Hey, hey, man.
Tuna and beans on a potato?
I
I
can't do
mean,
tuna and beans. That is a straight trip to the bathroom,
I'm assuming there
and
is
it's
it canned
coming.
tuna, right? It's
That's an
not
it
like
open
instant,
it.
bro.
So the video I saw there, and there might be somebody's homemade recipe where they use different quality ingredients, but the video I saw, can of beans, bloop, and can of tuna right on top.
Oh, I can't. I mean,
Yeah.
hey, thank you. If we have UK, Daniel Newman's our own. The only
Yeah,
one that I
Dan's
know
gonna beat
of.
us up, man.
yeah,
But
he's gonna kill
He's
us.
gonna be on
Daniel's
our
gonna
ass
come
about
at us with a
this.
force to be reckoned with.
Yeah,
So
he
Daniel, if
gonna
you
send
made it
all
this
of us.
far, feel free to come at us.
yeah.
Let
Yeah,
us
man.
know what's up.
Yeah, I'll try it. I'll try anything once. I've
I'm
had
gonna do the
worse.
beans and toast though,
Beans and
Yeah.
because
toast is good, man. I mean, I do the beans on the bread, like I said. My old man's that's kind of something that he got me into when I was a kid, but not the toast. I'll have to try the toast next time.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Eric. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
coverage on that. I think that was over. I think that was due. So good
Yeah.
call. I think that was
Yeah.
due because a lot of people, a lot of followers are using the Sim Magic gear, and
Yeah.
a lot of them are on console too. So maybe they were
Yeah.
a little hesitant on if it's if it's worth it. But you're living proof. It's
Yeah.
almost been a year. I want to say,
It's
or
coming
getting
up on it.
close, very
Yeah.
close
Yeah. I
to
think
having that
April or
sim. We
March
started
or
the show
April.
in May.
Yeah.
May is our anniversary. So if you guys want to send us an
Yeah.
anniversary gift or card, let me know.
Yeah. My birthday month too.
I e-gift. Send us an
Yeah.
e-gift and
There
address
you
it
go.
to Jeff, Eric, and me.
Oh yeah. Accepting all gifts for sure.
But it's that
Yeah.
time. It's
Yep.
that time. I like saying this. It's actually a cue for me. That way I know. But it's that time for track of the week.
Yes,
And
sir.
Jeff has something for us cooked up today. Welcome back again, brother. Missed you. let us know
Likewise.
what have you what's been your what was your selection this week and
Yeah.
what drove it? Yeah, what's up? What is it? Because we
So
don't know.
we've had a couple comments, and it's probably rightfully so that we don't really dig in very much to those dudes that are trading paint on the ovals tracks, or the oval the oval courses, and there's a lot of them out there. Like you think of NASCAR, IndyCar. There's a lot of stuff out there. So
Yeah.
I figured I'd start the first oval track for race of the week. And if you're going to pick an oval track for race of the week, you got to start with numero uno, Daytona International Speedway. So without further
Okay.
ado, I'm going to dig into Daytona. Um, I don't know if a lot of people know this. I've actually been to the track when I was a kid. My parents brought me there. It was super cool. But it wasn't always where it was. It was actually, no kidding, on the beach. Like, they raced on the
Hmm.
sand. That's where the
Oh.
Oh
track
wow.
started, how Daytona
Oh,
Speed
I
Week
didn't
and
know
all this
that.
thing happened. It
Huh.
was like
Hmm.
just a handful of miles away from where the track is to the beach where it really was. So I'm gonna show a uh, just the overhead track of the current setup, and you'd be surprised, like, this track, as you see here, hasn't changed since um like really the 60s, with over, like, I mean, obviously you're not gonna, it's as I'll get into it here. So I do want to cover a couple stories and history over the course on the beach. It was called the Ordman Beach and Road Course. Was a motorsport track that was instrumental to the foundation of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, NASCAR. It originally became famous with a
Oh,
location, and on that beach, 15 world land speed records were set. I was reading another story.
wow.
There was a dude that went
Damn.
202 miles an hour on the beach. That's
Uh,
wild.
On the sand.
I'm
On the
saying that's
sand. Like,
crazy.
they didn't put pavement on there, it was sand. So,
Bro,
um,
you know how bumpy that must have been? Oh my god.
Well,
right? So, the lap length in the early events were 3.2 miles, and was eventually lengthened to 4.2 in the late 40s. So here's where we get into the actual racing of it. So Daytona Beach officials asked the local racer Sig Hugendale to organize and promote an automobile race along the 3.2-mile course. The city posted $5,000 purse. The ticket takers arrived to the race day on March 8th to find thousands of fans already at the track. Lost the opportunity to sell them a ticket. The sandy
mm.
turns became virtually impossible to pass, which caused numerous scoring disputes and technical protests. The event was stopped after 75 of the 78 laps. Why they didn't just do the last couple, I don't
I
know.
know. Wow.
That's
So
funny.
Mark Milton was declared the winner by the AAA, the current sanctioning
Mhm.
body, and the second place protested, didn't win, and this guy
Mm.
William France finished fifth. The city lost a reported of $22,000. In 2016 dollars, it was just under $500,000,
Oh
and the
shit.
city has not promoted a Daytona 500 race since. It's probably because they don't need to now, right?
Really?
Yeah. So here's a super interesting story about that race. This guy named Lloyd Seeley finished fourth in that race in 1941 after his car rolled twice. Got
Oh.
back on the track and finished
Wow.
fourth. Right. So this is where, like,
And
NASCAR
he
and like
rolled. Wow.
the Salt fits perfect. Ready? He returned later that year to actually win a race at the track later in the year. But a couple years later, he was killed by a family member in a dispute over the family's moonshine business.
Oh my god.
Dude, if that's not like
The guy rolls on track
NASCAR bit, he's
and,
in
and he passes
the
that way
moonshine
of some
business.
moonshine.
Oh yeah. So that's isn't that like the supposed history or like the origin of NASCAR, like was it like whiskey runners or moonshine runners or whatever.
Yeah,
Those
probably.
drivers started racing and that formed NASCAR. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's a fake story or what, but that's
So
crazy.
so all right, so here's kind of how a little bit more how NASCAR formatted. This gentleman, William France, I spoke to earlier, knew that promoters need to organize the efforts. The drivers were frequently victimized by, sketchy promoters who would leave the events with all the money before the drivers got paid.
Oh
So a
no.
bunch of these promoters met at
Damn.
this Ebony Bar in the Streamline Hotel right there on Daytona Beach in Florida. And that was the official formation of NASCAR as how we know it in February 21st, coming right up, 1948.
Wow.
Super
Wow.
cool. Just interesting how actually NASCAR, it's the home of NASCAR, right?
Mhm.
Um, so here's another interesting story. In the race in 1951, Marshall Teague guided his 1951 fabulous Hudson Hornet to victory lane for his first career victory. He beat Tim Flock by 1 minute and 14 seconds.
Damn.
Damn.
That's wild. And now they're winning by like less than a second.
Yeah.
No.
In
Sheesh.
That's if you make
1950,
it.
yeah, if you make it. In
Exactly.
1952, Teague made it two in a row with his Hudson. He gained the lead on lap two. Listen to this. The lap was shortened by 2 laps because of the incoming tide. Dude, like you don't think of that stuff. You're putting on a huge race.
That's
Uh,
hilarious.
The water's coming. We gotta cut
so,
Yeah,
it.
gotta cut it
um,
short.
and he won by 1 minute and 21 seconds.
Man.
So get
Damn.
this. The day earlier, they had like another race for the weekend, right? This guy, Tim Flock, who came in second, was flagged for winning that modified race and the day before the big race, but disqualified for having a wooden roll bar. Like, if you're gonna cheat on something, like I wouldn't like put a crummy roll bar in, but hey, listen, this is
Bro,
NASCAR,
a
right? This is
wooden
race
roll
what you
bar?
brung. Yeah,
Exactly.
How good is that going to be when the thing rolls? It's
dude,
gonna crack.
relax.
Oh, look. It ain't gonna
Yeah.
be
That
good at
must have been
all.
some heavy duty freaking maple
So
wood.
yeah. So 1953, it became increasingly complicated to run the race on the beach because of the urban growth of Daytona Beach area. Hotels were being constructed along the beach. This guy Francis knew that a permanent track needed to be built with hold larger crowds as it got bigger and bigger, and you could ultimately see where this is going. So William France wanted the track to have the. Let's talk about funding because this is kind of interesting. A Texas oil millionaire, Clint Mershon Sr., lent France $600,000, and this is in the 50s. That's a lot of cheddar.
Mhm.
Along with all the necessary equipment to build the track, he secured funding from Pepsi Cola, General Motors, and Hardly Edlard. A second mortgage took a mortgage on his house. Uh,
Oh man.
Ooh, rough.
so he wanted to have so William France wanted the track to have the highest banking turns so they could go so it could be the fastest track. He traveled to
Mm.
Ford Motor Company because they had a high speed track with bank corners, and Ford shared their engineering design and how they built the track uh, with France, and he brought that back to Daytona to build the high banks. Crews. So this is kind of how they built the track because this is super interesting. To build the high banks, crew had to excavate over 1 million square yards of soil in the track's infield. Because of the high waters in the area, the excavated holes filled with water to form what is now known as Lake Lloyd, after one of the builders. The lake is stocked with 6,000 fish. They also
Damn.
conduct
Wow.
speedboat racing in there now. I don't know if they still do it, but they
Probably
used to have
killed all the
speedboat racing.
fish.
Yeah, right. I know.
Telling
Like
you.
it doesn't really mix. They mixed infield with 22 tons of lime mortar had to be brought in, binding base. Uh, so they had a problem with asphalt. And this is super interesting. They couldn't run the steamroll or the excuse my I don't remember what they're called. The runs over the pavement to push it down because the turns were so banked. So he had this
Mm.
great idea that hey, we're gonna put a bulldozer on top of the turn and we're gonna chain it to the cement roller. So the,
What?
the cement roller is gonna go forward, so it doesn't fall over. It's gonna be chained to the bulldozer, and they're both gonna go at the same pace all the way back and forth for the to put the
Oh
pavement
my
in.
god, bro.
Dude, you want to talk
Hey,
about some
look.
redneck stuff?
That's the definition of where there's a will,
Yeah,
there's a way.
so,
I'm telling you.
but dude, like it's how they made Talladega, all a number of all these tracks.
See, now I want to go.
He
See?
patented how like this process, and they made Talladega, Charlotte, a number of these speedways using this like redneck rinky dink, like something you do in like middle school when you're like, hey, I need to do this. Well, if I just chain this to this thing and nail it on, yeah.
And just drag it all the way through. Like, damn, bro.
Hey, make it happen.
Yeah. So the first practice to run on the new track was in February 6th, 1959. On February 22nd, 42,000 people attended the inaugural Daytona 500. Its finish had started the track itself. It took a couple. The track took a beating
Mhm.
when it opened
Oh
up, and it
yeah, it
eventually
did.
became the fastest track for stock car racing until Talladega came along 10 years later. Um,
Uh,
so it currently has obviously NASCAR, but Supercross. I'm a big Supercross fan, so think of dirt bikes inside. Um, Part of the series goes to Daytona after. I think it's the week after the Daytona 500, and they race on the infield where it says Daytona 500. They set up
mhm.
a dirt bike track right there, and they do jumps and stuff. Super cool. They
Oh,
also
okay.
do flat track and infield go kart tracks, paved short track, and they've even had high school football games and
Oh
even
my god.
soccer matches.
Man,
So
On the
there's
check
like,
that
track.
track out.
yeah, all I mean, they have enough grass. So there's like 3 RV parks inside the track, inside
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, the
Because they
track.
camp out there, right? They
Yeah.
they
Oh, I
Seen
can't
that.
imagine the partying that happens out there. It's
I
got to
would
be
get
a
hammered
zoo.
Uh,
to
Oh
no
yeah. I mean, I
end.
think it's part of like, it's like part of your
you got
ticket that
to.
you agree you will get hammered, probably off Bud Light or Budweiser or something like that,
And you're
or
probably gonna
Jack
go down,
Daniels.
bro, with all the freaking loud
Yeah.
ass speakers all day. Oh man.
So 41 people have unfortunately been a fatality of on track incidents: 24 car drivers, 12 motorcycles, three go kart drivers, and one powerboat racer, and one track
Mm,
worker. The notorious death that was Dale Earnhardt,
Mhm.
rest in peace,
mm,
Mhm.
was killed on the last lap of the Daytona 500 in
Ah,
2001. I
man.
know that hit the NASCAR family and community like really, really hard. So
last lap too.
the last lap,
Yeah,
yeah, I
man.
remember. I just crazy. Like I'm not a big NASCAR fan. My brother was like he would sit in front of the TV and watch all 500 miles. It was crazy. But I remember like just sitting there and I was like saw the crash, but they didn't even like focus on it, obviously because it's the last lap. They got to follow the people that are going to win
Well,
the
yeah,
race.
that it's busy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just
and
like the
it wasn't until
start.
like a couple
Yeah.
hours later that it was like, "Yo, that guy died." It's like, died. He just was like going around the corner, got hit, went up into the wall. It was just a real freak accident. I think that's where the Hans device Mata got like everybody was like, "All right, enough's enough. We got to do this Hans device." Don't quote me on that. I vaguely remember hearing about it. But here we go.
Mm.
So it is included in the video games. The first one that I could find was, surprise, surprise, Daytona USA, a racing game
Of
based around the
course.
speed track. Was released in
It makes sense.
1994 for Sega Model 2 arcade system. So you remember going into like Chuck E. Cheese or whatever, you have the when you get in the
Yeah.
little thing. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was like I guess
The
the first one
arcade,
that
like
had.
a yeah.
Yep. And Jason, you'll appreciate this. It was initially released in Japan for testing.
Oh,
So that yeah, that it was released
Okay.
there first. That's kind of interesting.
yeah, Sega.
Um,
Sega is a
yep,
Japanese
yep. So they
console,
had 3 courses in there, single player and multiplayer modes. It was officially sponsored by the racetrack. Um,
which is cool. That's cool, man.
yeah, and it wasn't
Yeah.
until about 2021 where PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 got it. So yeah, like
That's a
super
yeah.
cool
See,
stories
now I want to
of
go. Every time we speak
Yeah.
about tracks, man.
Yeah,
Now
man.
I
That's
need to go, and
interesting.
this is home soil, bro. This is our stuff. Go back to that
yeah.
real quick, Jeff.
You want to go back to it?
I want to show you something. So, it was a great story, and we always look at tracks. We usually look at Formula and GT tracks, even though I
Mhm.
believe GT cars go on here. I believe so in a different setting. If I'm
I
if
mean, they
I'm
have the
wrong,
24
please.
hour, yeah, the 24-hour Daytona here too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So they have
prototypes
like a
and
bunch of
whatever.
the road
Yeah.
course in here goes around. I forget where it goes to be honest with you, but you can
So
see
have you
all the
noticed
different,
configurations or whatever?
yeah, like endless in here.
So notice that there's no go-kart track, how we usually
Yeah,
find them.
Oh
I
yeah.
wonder if it's somewhere they build it up in
No,
here
I
maybe.
found it. Zoom
Oh, you
out.
did. Where is it?
Mm.
I was
And
looking for it earlier
I've been
today.
trying to tell you to do this. And look at the bottom right. You see that K1 speed? Those are go-karts. They're indoor though. They're electric. So they always have like a go-kart track. K1
Yeah.
Where?
speed by gate 40, bottom left.
Oh,
Oh,
bottom.
bottom
Oh, yeah,
left.
yeah, over here. I see. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Look at the
Oh, okay.
K1.
Oh, the
Yeah.
indoor.
Indoor.
Those
Oh,
are
they
The
got an
in
super
urban.
fun.
Oh, they got an urban air. Okay. And
Look
I
at
don't have
even
a
the
GoPro.
RV park has a racetrack outside the gate.
Oh
I
man, you
would
imagine
rent
that?
an RV and just camp out there, bro.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
dude,
that's
like
got to be
especially for
crazy.
like the
I'll have a
Daytona
grill out,
24.
dude. I'll have a grill out. I'll have music
Bro.
playing. Well, probably can't hear it. Then
You'd have to have a
I'm sure
tank
there's
top
music.
on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's got to
So,
be fun though, man.
yeah, if I can do this real quick to give you guys a perspective.
Yeah, let's see if that. Huh, look at that.
Oh,
To
that's
give you a
cool.
perspective of like how banked these things
Look
are.
at that.
It doesn't do it
They,
justice. I've been here in
See, now we
person
got to redo all the tracks now.
and
See?
it's
yeah,
way steeper than that.
yeah. I
It
saw a
just
video
feels
of
like it's way
somebody.
steeper.
I saw a video of somebody trying to walk the track, and like they couldn't climb up the incline. It was so steep. Like they
Yeah.
were struggling. They're going all fours to try to climb up it. That's how steep that is. But that's crazy. So the
Yeah.
funny thing is, they had to drive the Google car on the Daytona 500 to
Oh
get that.
shit, that's right.
So, like,
Oh,
so
that's
can you imagine being the guy in the little Google car driving along there? That's crazy.
You had that thing pegged.
you're
I think
praying,
I
dude.
remember. I think I remember going on the tour, and they said you had to go like 87 miles an hour to at least stay on the track, or you would
Mm.
You would
tumble off it.
slip off.
Yeah. So yeah,
Man,
it's a cool
Damn,
story.
bro.
Dude, the oval track racing is a lot more fun than not that I didn't think it was gonna be fun, but it's totally different, especially NASCAR and those truck driving. Like the whole race is rubbing.
it's like
Right.
chaos, huh?
It is chaos, especially like a rookie race. Dude, forget about it.
What about ranked? Any ranked oval racing yet?
No, dude, the problem is like I get in there and I'm like, I just want to go have fun and do all the,
Ah, okay.
I gotta because like, dude, it's wild.
I want to race a Gen 3,
Oval,
dude, but you
the
need to be
rookie
like,
oval
yeah.
is like 0.3 mile laps.
Ah,
You're
okay.
like turning the whole time. I mean, I was like, oh, dude, I'm getting dizzy here. Like, it's wild.
Yeah, bro. It's
I
intense.
just got to do it just to get out of it so I can, have more races to pick from.
Okay.
Yeah, I
And
gotta
I
do
need to
one
get a
now.
wheel and the shifter. There's always
Which,
something, gentlemen. There's always something.
yeah,
Never done.
never done the C word as Eric put it out the other day. The
Yeah,
C word.
never complete. Don't use that
Complete.
word.
Yeah, don't confuse us now. Ha, got you thinking. All right. So thank you, Jeff. That concludes the track of the week. Another one in the bag. If you
My
guys
pleasure.
have any suggestions for us, it could be oval. Nothing wrong. It's a track. Track's a track. And technically, it's a track that everything is being raced there. So, except for Formula or Formula One, right? I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
I didn't
Formula,
read anything that
maybe,
was really open wheel racing besides the go-karts.
hmm, I wonder if IndyCar races there. I got to look and see.
I'd have to look. It didn't none of the research said that, but it seems like it would be a great track to run
Yes.
Indy on. Not that I know a whole lot about it, but
I mean, how scary would it be opening the DRS on the hill on
Nah.
the that's got to be
Man.
yeah, Death Wish. That's probably why they're not there.
that's probably why they're not there.
That makes sense.
Imagine doing a pass on the ooh, man, that's yeah. All right. Well, that's going to be about it for this week today. I really don't have anything else to put out other than the questions that we owe Chad. So Chad,
Yeah.
we kind of have a situation here. You suggested a piece of software that enables 360 hertz in iRacing. See, the issue is that all our wheelbases already support that.
Yeah.
But if
First world
anybody,
problems.
right, first world
Yeah.
problems, I know. I was waiting for that one. So let me get that to others to see if you guys want to take a stab at it. If you have a device that doesn't support the full 360 hertz, then you can probably, because it's really hard to test, right? So we got an email from Chad. I'll read it. He's like, I'm not sure if you guys have seen this, but a clever program has come up with a cool app that opens iRacing 360 hertz to more bases and offers several options, which I highly appreciate. putting this out and sharing with others, because not everybody has a Sim Magic or Semi Cube or what have you. So
Yeah.
kudos to you. He says main one being the ability to scale FFB detail higher without having to increase overall FFB force. Um, the guy, effectively separated the detail and maintained force via two channel AC and DC. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. I still may take a stab at it and see. He also added here the main issue I see now, and I suffer from myself, is that Sim Magic bases are not functioning properly with the app. But all other brands I have mentioned, usually, the usual suspects, are
Yeah.
working well. The dev says that he will be working to address the Sim Magic issue. So I guess not all Sim Magic supports. I'm pretty sure the alpha does support 360 out the box after
Yep.
software update.
Yep.
Um, um, Also, interesting is that Dave Tucker from iRacing programming team has been chatting with the dev and seems to appreciate the direction. Wow. So he actually is talking to the dev of the iRacing. So I will leave links to this software. If you have a base and it's not working, it's not compatible with 360 hertz on iRacing, this might be worth a go. This might be worth a go. And I'll still end up trying it because I'm hard headed and I'll try it anyway. But as of right now, the settings on my sim right now are super dialed in,
Oh
and
yeah.
we've been racing really hard and very close in the league. As mentioned before, the GRL league is super competitive.
Yeah.
So tinkering with anything right now is kind of a challenge. So, but
Yeah.
for the users out there, I will definitely take a look at the website and the software. So, Chad, sorry it took this long to get to you. Um, we mentioned you in the last episode, and I said you had top priority. But upon checking, we checked the actual bases that we're using; they all support 360 on iRacing.
Yeah.
So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Leave us a comment below. So
Yeah.
that's all I have for announcements. Um, I'll give it to Eric next to see what he had. Not announcements. Sorry. Again, I'm out of
Yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah, the round
Round table.
table.
I got you.
Round table.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Eric's round table. Let me know
Yeah.
what you have, if anything.
Yeah. Nah, I've got nothing for round table, man. Another good episode, man. Fun talking about sim racing.
Yeah, man. This
I got a
doesn't get
quick one.
old. This is 42 episodes in.
It's
This
crazy,
is
man.
this is 100+ hours of knowledge for
Yep.
everybody,
Yep.
and we still got more.
Oh yeah.
Trust me,
Just getting going,
the
baby.
we have way more lined up for you.
just just
Jeff,
getting
sorry,
going.
man.
I just got a quick one.
What is your round table? I think I know what it
Netflix
is.
Netflix came out this past week and said
Oh,
on 7 March, Drive to Survive season 7. Let's
okay.
go.
Let's
More
go, bro.
Let's
converts.
go.
I'm hearing
Can't wait.
rumors and birdies around there that Leclerc was 1.8 seconds faster than Hamilton in the Ferrari.
You see this?
Sheesh.
You see it?
So
You see it? The little
it's
tear?
okay.
Little tear. No, there ain't no damn tear.
That's
I
all right.
also heard he wrapped his car around the telephone pole.
Well,
Maybe not the telephone pole, but he put it into the wall. And I was like, oh man, that's a shame. It's just a
well,
real shame.
I am a Lewis Hamilton fan. I
You are.
support him.
You are.
Um,
Great for the sport.
he's a
100%.
7-time world champion, and for
Yeah.
some, even for
The
Daniel,
GOAT.
Daniel will tell you he's the 8th world. He is the 8th time. They refused to accept that last race,
Hey, you don't have to convince me.
where Mikey, no, that
Like, will live in infamy in F1 history.
yeah, that was the
That
best
was BS.
season
That was BS.
ever, though.
Yeah.
The
I
fighting.
mean, we watched that race in your garage like 3 years after it happened.
We watched the whole race too,
The whole race. Yeah.
and he led the entire race.
Man.
I don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
It yeah, gives me stress. So
Mhm.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. F1, I'm excited. The rivalries, the texting between
New
me and Jeff,
drivers.
it's been kind of low. It's been kind of low key. But when that starts to pick up, I'm telling you, I can. Russell, I hope you're ready, bro. I hope you're ready to
I
take
mean, it gets
Hamilton's
so
seat.
heated. I'm ready to like launch mortar rounds from my house to yours and stuff.
Are you gonna do
Oh,
the
it's
old
fun.
school one, the angle
Oh
it?
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Boom. Fire for effect. Boom, boom, boom.
All right.
So
So that's all you have for a round table, Jeff.
yeah.
And
Oh, drive fast, break late. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
come on, Jeff.
Drive fast, and break a little later.
Well, it depends on the car because
Send it.
that Porsche is
Oh
more
yeah.
about braking a little earlier. You
she's
do not want to accept her.
she's a handful, huh?
Oh yes,
Oh,
I've
and
I spun a couple
that
laps on her.
Porsche is
She's
Jeff, Jeff. Well, you did. Jeff and
I
Eric
own it.
just
Yep.
bought the Porsche,
yep.
and he seems to like it, from what I'm
Oh
hearing.
look.
You ain't gonna
But
drive a harder car, man. There she is.
but I'm telling you, Eric, get your license,
Road
and
Atlanta.
let's see what you got in her.
Oh yeah. So
She's a handful. She can
uh,
be, especially in the rain. Put that car in the rain.
oh hold on. Whoa. Hold on.
Eric Kelly has left the chat.
Hey, look, I ain't gonna. I got no shit to talk about driving in the rain. All right, I'm not even gonna front about that. The dry, I need to do some races and see really where I'm at. But just like I said, drove it on Suzuka, drove it on Road Atlanta. I loved it, man. And like I said, that's a lot of what I drive on GT7. Outside of the weird stuff they throw in there from week to week, but
I can see that. And you're a
it's
Porsche
great.
guy too. You like Porsche. You always like
Yeah,
Porsche.
yeah,
So
it's
get your
great.
license, man. Let's put it to the test.
Hey, let's
Let's
do
get
it.
you in there.
Yeah,
But anyways, thank you guys again. I want to do a big shout out to the GRL group. I think you
yes,
guys,
yes.
you know, after everything, after the review, I know there was, some heated things being said on the stream. But the thing is, the aftermath was positive, and the
Oh
aftermath
yeah,
is we're all trying to get better, and that's kind of what the league's about.
yeah,
So the amount of support that we received there, and Neil, um, it was great to finish, and Neil, and behind me. So Neil, if you're watching, you heard it from me, and I'm sick, and I got you anyway. He's he's gonna come
oh
after me for
man,
this.
oh
Neil,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Shit
Neil's my
talking.
dude, and
Yeah,
Neil, we got to get Neil on this podcast. We really do. He doesn't
yeah,
want
man.
to. He doesn't want to,
Oh no,
but we
man, you
got
got
to
to
get
come
him in
on,
here. We
man.
got to get him in here. We need to have a discussion with that guy.
Yeah,
Anyway,
definitely.
awesome community, and I
Yeah,
want you guys to not be scared and go and try it. I
yeah,
want, because the more we have in there, the better, the bigger, and the better things will get, I guess.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm rumbling, mambling. So thank you so much, guys, again for being here. Jeff, welcome back. And to all you viewers and listeners out there, if you have any questions, email the show at thechicanepodcast@gmail.com. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and please have a great start of your week. Thank you.